the other side. I'm in Barcelona at the moment with a few
This meeting is
friends,
Wow.
being recorded.
and
So
Julian told me I have to meet you. So that's why I'm looking a little bit more like holiday style today.
Tony, no expectations at all, but I got Jan out of his vacation and he's typically like, he's, as you can see, like a super smooth, super cool guy, but just also very great guy to work with, first of all, but also knowledgeable more on in the space, not really on cybersecurity, not really on data center like me. But he also did the deal with me on Magnus, on Lyceum, you got to know. So for me, it was really important to have him. And yeah, I mean, I had a great interaction, so I wanted to move quickly and to get another chat. And then, as I said, also heard great things about you in the ecosystem here in Tel Aviv. So great following up.
Wow, amazing, Julian. Such an amazing intro. Jen, I can't wait to meet you. Wait, how do you pronounce your name? I'm sorry.
It's called Jan.
Jan. Okay, because you're with J. So I
Yes,
know three Jans, but they spell it with a Y.
Okay. Yeah, it's Jan with Y normally is French, and Jan is more like in the Nordics, a Nordic name, and northern Germany. But I'm born in the south, so my parents just stole the name a little bit. Yeah.
Amazing.
Anyway, Tony, thanks so much, really, for taking the time. I hope you had a good call with the Lyceum guys, with Magnus. He said it was great, but I think it's not really applicable yet for them. But eventually in the future, we can chat on that later. What I would like to do for the rest of the time, and it's good that we have enough, is dive a little bit deeper, but still also for Jan, if you could start from the beginning. Tell a little bit about yourself, also about the co-founder, like the journey, just like you did with me last time. And then also on Arte, obviously. I collected a couple of references, so have more deeper questions, let's say, but let's see how far we can get. Before that, I think it makes sense if Jan also gives a quick intro about this person, because I think it's very impressive as well. And yeah, with that, we can kick it off.
Yes, happy to do that. With the word impressive, I would say no, but I just that to get a feeling what I did in the past. So, like by heart, I'm even though we're speaking here as investors, but I'm more on the entrepreneurial side, and this will also show if we work together in the future. So I've built a few companies. The first one was in the dating space, then one in the area of medical diagnostics, and then energy trading platform called NMAC, based in Munich. And in parallel, we have done a lot of angel investments in the past with my partners on the private side. In total, about 150, half of them in the US, half of them in Europe. And we had some lucky shots, as always. You need some lucky shots if you're an angel investor. And then, we got the real passion for investing. We have then built a private equity fund called Flex Capital in Berlin for small tech companies, where we typically buy the companies, and then co-founded 10x Founders like 4 or 5 years ago. For the early stage investing that we do, we are also one of the core LPs in our own fund, so we want to invest our own money and have a special strategy, doing a lot of deals in the fund generation, because we believe that is helpful for the ecosystem, and we also believe that it's a good approach to do that. And we then try to use the network that we've built over the years to help the companies we're working with. And that's basically it. And in the past, I've also been operational before I had my own companies. And then there I had more like a perspective on online marketing, distribution, sales, and product development, so that you get a feeling for what I've done in the past.
Amazing. Very impressive. Okay, so I will also introduce myself very fast. Sorry, Julian, that you already heard it, but I will try to be.
I enjoy hearing it a second time.
So I started my professional journey in the army, in the Israeli IDF. I was in a very small, tiny unit that no one ever heard about, 8200. Very tiny. So I did cybersecurity positions, very hands-on, very tech, all throughout my journey there. And when I finished, I wanted to do something a bit bigger with all the knowledge of cybersecurity. So I opened up the first courses and first curriculum of cybersecurity in Israel. So it was in a computer science college, obviously, and then it grew bigger and huge. So I'm actually in charge of 80% of all the curriculum in cybersecurity if you study in academia in Israel. So I'm a tiny, small little celebrity here. And after done that for a few years, I managed the full department of cybersecurity. I went back to Ministry of Defense, did a lot of cyber positions over there, interesting roles. And then I love to hack things, so I did my first pivot in my career, which I thought I know how to hack things. Let's try to hack the most interesting thing in the world, which is the brain. So I was sure I'm going to hack the brain. So I went into studying neuroscience. So I deep dived in neuroscience in the academia, finished my degree, my diplomas over there. And after understanding that an extra 5-7 years in academia will not give me anything besides another cool article, I wanted to do something that with value. So I said bye-bye to academia, went back to the industry, Ministry of Defense, cybersecurity, all the roles over there, and understood I want to open my own business. That's the time for my own business. I was my own boss for lots of years, but I wanted my own business, like to build my baby. So I went into the more business side of stuff in order to have the network of CISOs, of CEOs in the world. So I started working in Boston Consulting Group to build my my name in the industry, more in Europe and in America. And after done that, happened the 7th of October. And on the 7th of October, I was sent back to reserve duty for a year and a half. And I've been asked to be in charge of all the cybersecurity for all the critical infrastructure for the IDF. So everything that is physical, hardware, critical infrastructure, data centers in the IDF, I was in charge of. And my role over there gave me a very interesting vision on the market, because my job was to search the market, all the good technology to import, everything that is not have been built yet to build in-house. So once I did that for a year and a half, I understood the market is in a strong demand and there is need for strong technology that right now is not on the market. So I finished with the army, went back to BCG, told them bye, and started the journey for the past few months of opening my own company of data centers, security, and critical infrastructure. And that's what I've been doing for the past few months, rocking, flying to conventions and speaking with anyone who can speak with, and like a very sassy, with a chutzpah, Israeli chutzpah, and getting a lot of interesting people on our side. We still, actually the introduction, the guy that introduced me and Julian was Gal Ben David, if you heard about him, Benda. So he's also a part of the team. And we built a very strong team, and now we are running to get both clients and to reach to the moon, and that's what we've been doing.
I was on mute. I wanted to say, cool, thank you. Very interesting.
Nice. Tony, why don't you start telling us a little bit about Arte, especially like the problem you observed and how you want to solve it?
Yes, of course. So actually, we started our journey in critical infrastructure and everything that is physical, such as government and hospitals and train. And mainly, we started deep diving into energy company, because we saw the huge need of energy because of the boost of AI and the data centers. There was a huge shortage of energy, and a lot of energy companies started building up and being scared with the cybersecurity facts. So we started over there. And once we looked into the energy companies, and that's where we started, we understood the energy company need to protect cybersecurity mainly for the data centers. So we started broadening also to data centers. And then we saw this huge boom in the market of data centers with the strong need, no solutions, protecting them with the new era. So we hyper-focused on the data centers and then cybersecurity tools to protect from end to end everything in that field. And the reason why we saw this huge shift in growth in data center is, if you think 1 second, what was the last boom in the market? Was the cloud, all the cloud technology. And when did it hit? During COVID, because during COVID, there was the need to move all the tech somewhere. So it was a storage solution that was very useful. That was the actual infrastructure for the problem we had. And now with the new shift of AI, what is the infrastructure for AI? It's data centers. So this is why all the companies that are giving infrastructures, like data centers or storage or servers or energy company booming right now because that's the base of AI. And with looking at that, we understand that the cybersecurity is very crucial because everything that we are saying is critical infrastructure, we are connecting the full world to AI. We're connecting the full world to the data, and it's exposed, and we need to protect it and understand the barriers and how to protect in the AI area everything that it is in the physical infrastructure. So this is why we're hyper-focused there.
Yeah. With terms to energy companies, just curious, is there a use case for your solution for the energy companies as well, next to data centers? Because we have a very, very, very strong network to energy companies. Obviously, having a energy trading platform and the biggest one in Europe built ourselves, just to get an understanding for what kind of solution would you offer them and how easy it would be to distribute it to energy companies next to data centers.
This is actually where we started. The solution is focused on energy, actually, and we made it broader and more focused on data centers. But if you look 1 second at the data center, it has like 4 main pillars, 4 main verticals. You have the vertical of the data to protect. You have the vertical of the IT and the network to enter. And then you have all the physical network, all the physical vertical, which is the energy, the cooling system, the actual room. So this 4th vertical. And then you have everything that is IIoT. So in our solution, we give like in one umbrella to see and protect all of them end to end. So one of the vertical is a specialized solution for energy. So we can, if we see the need that's stronger in the market, sell only that to energy company, and also, especially also the connection between them and data centers. But we can also sell it as one pillar.
Understood. Where's the advantage to offer all the 4 pillars together, or like 2 of those together, instead of just specializing on one of the pillars and being the specialists there?
The main problem is that as for today, each and every pillar have cybersecurity solution, but none of them integrate with each other and understand the full picture. It's just one piece of the puzzle. So if you have a cybersecurity alert in one of the pillars, you don't know how it's going to affect the full one. It's if it's going to shut down the full data center. Is if you see an alert of a cyber attacker in one of them, can he move from one to another? Can he hurt the data? Can he take something out? If someone enters from the network, can he cause all the ACs there to shut down? You don't know the connection between them because it's such a different vertical. So the main problem we are tackling here is connecting them and giving you the end-to-end solution.
But does it mean why is the layer on top not enough? Like connecting all of these?
There is no layer on top. Right now, none of the system is even have the ability to connect to another one and understand it.
And this is why you need to build it up from the ground for each of the pillars?
So as for go-to-market strategy, we say we don't give you each piece of the puzzle. We build on whatever you have already installed in order to make it as fast as possible to install and as fast as possible to enter the market. But of course, as a vision, the next step is we also give the solution of each one of the pillars.
Okay.
Being a customer, what's the advantage for me of a customer with that approach? Is it that my downtimes get reduced? Is it that the security level is going to be increased because I have a better understanding of what's happening, or something else? If I'm a customer and you give me this a solution that solves more or less all my problems, what would be your main selling argument to convince me?
So I have the main one is actually divided into 2. The first one is we're giving you the security that you don't have right now, because if you do have a cybersecurity solution in one of them, you don't protect the full picture. You don't protect, and even if you know how to protect one vertical, you don't know how it's going to affect. So first of all, we give you the security, and second of all, I would say downtime will be reduced into 10% or like even way more, because right now, if you do have something, you are not running to do any action because you don't know the full connection of it. This is why sometimes if you see in everything that is physical and alert, it can wait hours, days, even months. If you see what's happened in the full blackdown in Portugal and Spain, all the electricity systems, it was not in a minute until you see an effect of someone that is suspicion in the network, until you have the end result of all the shutdown. It usually takes hours, days, and even weeks. So, and you don't know what to do with it because you don't have the connections. Once you do, you can reduce the downtime and protect it end to end.
Okay, so it would be faster recognition, better understanding, and thereby less downtime in total, and obviously better protected, so not having a more severe attack by early detection.
That's true. That's
okay.
exactly.
Yeah, thank you.
Can you say a little bit more about, because I understand they're typically like in cyber, right? The compliance or an operational risk, correct? Here, if I'm not mistaken, there's not so much of a compliance risk, but more an operational. Can you, if I'm wrong, please correct me. But can you double click a little bit on the operational risk? Like how severe is it really for the customers?
It's the most severe because when you speak about your data center, it's not a specific file or a specific system in terms of your business, it's the core of your business. So if something happens to your data center, it's the critical, not for, so they say the critical infrastructure is the data center, because if something happened to your server, to the data in the data center, everything else is on top of it. So that's the fundamental layer. This is your floor of everything else. So it is crucial in terms of operational. This is why also the budgets are way higher, the risk are way higher, and also the regulation is very strong there. You see all the regulations specifically also in Europe in terms of data center. Europe is saying in the new age of cloud, I want all the data of my clients to be stored local in Europe. I don't want the data anywhere else, not in the States, not anywhere else outside of Europe. This is why you see more and more data centers are being built local for companies. We just spoke with not only banks now have local data centers, but a very big client that said, because of the regulation, I have to create this new data center, and I have to compliance with the regulation of cybersecurity to protect the data center and the data of my clients. So the regulation is very, very strict, and we're going to see it way stricter as we go with the big AI warehouse and the more and more data we pour into in AI.
What kind of solutions is a data center using today to solve the problem you're describing?
Right now, if you're looking in the pillar of the data of the server, the endpoint security, you see solutions such as CrowdStrike and all of those. Mm-hmm. When you speak about the OT side of space, you see Clarity, Dragos, Nozomi, and Armis. And when you see the IoT, all the cameras and everything that is physical, you see more small kind of cybersecurity solutions, not the big ones, maybe a bit of Armis, but in the IoT space. So mm-hmm. This is the land space, but there's not even one of them is focused on data security, of data center security. Even in the OT field, you buy the same solution of Clarity, for instance, which will work and specialize in factories, in trains, in maritime. None of them is focused not only on the attacks of data center, but also how to protect them and understand the full business of impact of the crown jewels of the data centers. So,
and is the data center then buying your solution on top to the existing solutions that they are using, or are you going to replace them? What's the plan here?
The plan is to replace and to be specialized native data center, because when there was the cloud, for instance, you had a lot of cybersecurity solutions you can do in order to protect your data in the cloud, but you always went and chose a cloud native security solution such as Orca or Wiz because it understands the full business. So we see a huge advantage of saying that we were born in the data center world, we are native data center and connecting, so it's way easier. You don't need a specific Splunk for it. We are native of Splunk for data center. Each and one of our features can give you the specialized of the data center.
And if you're coming to me, I have a data center, I use 3 different solutions right now to protect against attacks. What would be the angle? Where would you get in now to get my existing contracts to be canceled and work with you? How would you try to convince me on that one? Because I'm a lot looking at the distribution. If there are solutions already, our view on that was always, okay, the solution has to be 4 or in the best case 10x, that's why 10x founders, 10x better than all existing solutions, that you get like in the B2B space, people to move and change their system. So there has to be a real pain. It's not sufficient to have a vitamin pill. It needs to be a painkiller in a special field. Then you can tackle that one and get others out. And it just has to be a narrow field. It doesn't have to be the whole solution in the beginning, but just to have something that is 10x better than all the existing solutions out there. What would that be in your view, and how would you sell it to a data center?
So the strongest one is none of your solution right now speak with a different solution. Even if you have one, this is the best, I like this one or this one, none of them speak with the different type of solution. So even if now my solution is less visibility than clarity for your OT kind of space, I'm the only one that can connect to your other system, integrate them, and understand the full data, both of them, to give you the picture. None of them in each and every vertical does that.
That means you can also connect to all the other solutions, but your plan is to replace them. But in the beginning, you can also connect and add additional value on top of existing solutions as a market entry.
Yes, we don't just connect to them, we get the data out of them and do 1 + 1 and understanding the full risk.
Understood. So it's not needed to replace in the beginning for a market entry, but add additional value on top of it.
Yes, but it's very fast actually when we speak with data centers security issues. None of them have each and every one the best choice, or even all of the verticals. We just spoke with a huge one. He doesn't have not even one OT space solution. So the fact that we can integrate and then tell them, look, you have none of the OT, take already mine. This is a very easy way to answer it also, because we connect.
Okay. So there's always a gap to fill. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Sorry, jumping in. It has been unclear a little bit to me. Why don't they have an OT security solution?
It very depends on, first of all, it depends on what they experienced. If they experience already an attack on the infrastructure, if there's someone next to them, or regulation in the specific country. But also depends on how they build the data center. So this one, for instance, built it a few years ago as a vision of 100% air gapped, not connected at all to the digital. And because of that, the full vision was not to think someone will enter and then hurt the physical infrastructure, because it was not a possibility to connect them, just the data. And now that they did connect because they had to in the AI era, they're now trying to find also other solutions in the whole data center. So they still don't have in place an OT kind of solution.
Interesting.
Also, a lot of the data centers today rent the space. So because they rent the space, the actual responsibility of making sure the electricity and the physical infrastructure is not going to be hurt is not on them responsibility. So they don't buy the actual solution. The place that they rent the place from needs to buy the solution.
Mm-hmm. I would be interested a little bit more in go-to-market, but Jan, if you have anything else on product, please go ahead.
Yeah, for me, it's totally interconnected. Like understanding the product and go-to-market, for me, it's very, very close in this case. So for me, it's totally fine. I just have questions on what are the people to talk to in the distribution go-to-market, and what are the companies you're looking for? Like, what is the wish list of the first 3, 4, 5 companies you would love to get as customers? Would be my questions, but Julia, please.
Well, you already addressed them, so Tony, go ahead.
Well, my dream customers obviously going to be the biggest logos, but understanding those take a bit longer in time, such as big banks or the big enterprises that we already started the conversation, or Google or Microsoft, all of the hyperscalers. Of course, those are the logos we want, and we want badly to put. But because we understand it takes longer, we want also to have addressed more the medium-sized enterprises with local data centers and the companies that are actually building the data centers. So if I had to choose 5 clients to start with, I would choose 3 to 4, the medium ones, and 1 starting the connection with the big ones.
Mm-hmm.
But for sure, the first ones, we wanted the small one also to learn more, obviously, the tech, and then to customize it and to be more ready for to be a product on the shelf.
I understand them directly selling to the customers, like the end customers kind of, but not to data center providers, correct?
The first ones, we think it's going to be smarter to sell directly to the customer, but we're
Got
also
it.
looking into the field of selling to the data center providers
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's a very fast growing market in terms of building data center and renting them.
hmm
And usually when they build it, it's new buildings, new servers, new everything. So they're looking for the cutting edge cybersecurity, and this is a very fast track to enter.
Yeah. What's the difference between, because like the persona you're selling to typically is not the CISO, right? However, is it then the manager of the data center? Like,
No,
try
it's
to
the CISO.
understand. So you are selling to the CISO.
Yes,
Interesting.
because
Okay.
even and unless it's a huge AI warehouse data center, and then you have the full job of in charge of the data center. Usually, if you're an enterprise, the cybersecurity side of protecting the data center is under the responsibility of the CISO.
Got it. Which makes it obviously, because of the network, much easier to target. Okay, I wasn't aware. Cool.
I think the best distribution is if you love hacking anyhow, you just hack one of the big ones and afterwards communicate how to solve the problem, and then distribution is solved, right? Not completely legal, but that would be a fast move.
That's a very smart way. We usually think that we are trying, once we get to a client, we show him that we are able to hack him, but to do it publicly, it's illegal and
Yeah, of course,
it's
we
gonna be the
know
best.
that. Yeah, but it's a smart move. If you go to them and say, okay, do I get a deal with you if I'm able to hack you and show you where your problem is? That would be also an interesting sales approach for me.
That's
Because
one of
then,
our yes.
okay, very good, very good. I like that one. Yeah.
Are you currently having design partners? Can you say a little bit about that, where you're standing?
We didn't lock anyone 100% yet. We have some going on conversations, and we are now in the point that exactly trying to understand if we want to shoot for the big ones and then take the bit longer time that is also strategic, or we want someone a bit smaller and to start. So we are having both conversations, and we need to, because we don't have right now until we finish the round the manpower to do both design partner at the same time. So we're
How far
looking.
are you? How far are you with the product right now? Like in terms of, are you able to sell it already next to project design development with your customers? Is there something that you can sell already because it's developed, or is it more like, okay, let's work together and then we create a product and we have a very precise idea how it should look like?
I will give you the honest truth as a good Israeli. The product, when we say to clients, we always say it's half ready. Give us 2 weeks. It's going to be exactly what you want. And then we run and we do it in 1 week and it's going to be ready. But obviously per client, it's going to be tailor-made by the system he has right now going on. But the engine and the technology in the back, we already have developed.
Okay. And in the future, if you have a bigger client, how much is customized that you can use from the shelf out of your system, and how much projects management do you then need to individualize the solution?
So luckily, and I don't know if it's luckily or strategic wise, that's why we chose it, very, very minimal customization, because when you build a data center today, you don't have a lot of vendors to choose from. The Siemens is the Siemens, the Schneider is the Schneider, the Oracle is the Oracle, and the Linux is the Linux. So you have 10 biggest vendors and they all use all of them. So once we cover all the 10, it's done. It's not a lot of customization. It's just a question of which filler you want, and then how big is your data center.
And so, as you know, I'm not an expert, but on a little bit deeper level, hardware components that they use next to the servers, do they play a role as well?
Which
Because there is,
components, for instance?
yeah, yeah. On the electrical side, I don't know how to attack an electrical system, but there might be some possibilities to hack into whatever element is used there. And depending on what is used, there might be a different approach to hack it, and there might be a different approach to realize that you are hacked and that there is an attack somewhere. And I would assume that there are different elements used in the electric system that can be attacked, and you want to see it as early as possible, and then it would be customized. But this is a maybe naive question.
No, it's not naive at all. Actually, in the electricity components kind of systems, you have the main computer that is controlling the different systems, and
Yeah.
those you have the three big ones. You don't have more. And as a cybersecurity solution, or even I would say as a cyber hacker, what you want is the entrance there. Once you're there, you can do all the damage you want. So the main focus is, are you able to do this job? That's what we're seeing, the actual connection, and not the different electricity types you have. And also, those are not very different.
Okay. Thank you.
Did it answer your question, or?
Yeah. Like on a meta level, it answers my question. The problem if you're not knowledgeable enough to ask more precise questions, then the answer on that level is sufficient. So I understand there are not so many components to be adapted to. So the individualization is not very detailed, because in general, they all focus on fewer elements to attack. And that's why customization is not a big problem for you. That's what I understand. And that's sufficient. That's sufficient for me, because you can explain me now all the details, but I'm not a hacker myself, so.
If you want, we can teach you. You will be able to. You already have the hat, the attitude, the vibe.
Exactly.
You already have there, but there, you're there.
I'll get there, yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Also on Asaf, I realized you haven't said anything about Asaf. Maybe you can also say a little bit about his background and why he's the right choice.
Yes,
it's a CTO.
And I would love for you also to meet him if you want. Right now he's in Washington, but on Sunday he's going to come back. So Asaf is one of the best, smartest people I ever got the chance of working with, which is saying a lot when you work in A200, which is everyone there is geniuses. But he was the head department of huge projects for the past 12 years. And he is very, very special, because not a lot of people are being so valued by the people working underneath you, and the people on the side you, and the people on top. And he is always very calm, able to solve any solution and lead the team. So besides the fact that he is a very smart, I would say, hacker, but the best tech guy, is also the best entrepreneurship and leader. He has a background of leading hundreds of people in the unit, and then he went in the industry for the past 6 years. He's been the head of all the developing side of the KHAT, cybersecurity company. And I was working for years and trying to convince him to open a startup with me. He said no, but I used a vulnerability when he went on a vacation with his wife. Actually, he had not a vacation, he had a first kid, and then he left the job for 3 months. And I told him, listen, you're not sleeping at night already, give me an hour here, an hour there. And he was hooked on the problem, hooked on the idea, and hooked on the startup. And that's what we've been doing for the past few months. And if I can describe him the best in our teamwork, is I'm the visionary and he's the doer. I'm telling him, Asaf, we need this and this solution. He's always telling me, Tony, impossible, we can't do it. It's technological, impossible. And I tell him, okay, Asaf, we have 2 weeks, and he's doing it in 1. So this is, I just need to give him the mission, the timing, and he's the doer. And that's also the team we have behind us, is the kind of people that you tell them, listen, we need a rocket to hit another rocket in space by tomorrow morning. Can you develop the tech? And they tell you, sure, and it's ready. So this is the type of team we have.
Like Iron Dome for space.
Yes, actually it's called Chetz, but yes.
Chetz, נכון, סליחה.
Yes.
Impressive.
Yeah. Who else, like you mentioned Benda, right? Who else is involved in the, let's say, extended team?
So we have Benda, that you know, and we have Yoav Vilner from the CEO of Walnut. He's also part of the building team. And we have some people, we stole strategic people from R&D and sales from Armis and Notorio, and we have the full team of Wiz.
You have the what team of Wiz?
The R&D team that we stole from Wiz. That actually we didn't steal; they stole from us when we were in the army. But it's the full team that we worked for the past 12 years with. Right now, the
Amazing.
group of Wiz.
So it's even better that
known as
you
Google.
it's even better that you meet Asaf Wiener that I sent you, the ex-Wiz guy who raised from Asaf Rappaport, the founder of Wiz.
So maybe I will not tell him who is exactly the team because they're still undercover.
That's good. Okay, good that I'm warning you in advance.
Okay. Yeah, so
Very
don't
cool.
tell him
Cool.
exactly. He will go sniff around
won't.
and it will make some noise. So we want to keep it quiet
No,
until
no.
we announce.
I'm not telling anything without you go. Last question before we speak a little bit about the progress so far. I try to understand a little bit better how you're approaching go-to-market. So you're selling to CISOs? Okay, understood. How are you going to do that? What's your vision?
Approaching CISOs directly.
Mhm.
This is number one. Number two, we're going to providers. Maybe you heard about like consulting companies working directly with them, and they a lot of the time installing the products and telling them which is the best product. So we also sell directly throughout them. We started to have connections with the vendors to sell throughout the vendors. And actually, we started looking at the very interesting idea that someone gave us to sell through the insurance company, because when you build the data center, you are paying for insurance in terms of if there is going to be electricity power out or a cybersecurity attack, you need to pay the insurance. And if the insurance is telling you, if you buy this and this product, we will lower your insurance, it's a very smarter way to go to market. This is actually quite new. So we're speaking with the insurance company to also look into that. But the first go-to-market, the main one that we are focusing right now is direct sales with CISOs and providers.
Through the network, CISOs?
Throughout the network of CISOs.
No, I mean how you get to them, like in front of them. Like what's the idea?
So we all know a bunch of people that know a bunch of people that know a bunch of people, and we very fast reach to the CISOs. And this is option number one. And another one also with help with the investors, with the main VCs that have a large network of CISOs as well, and the strong connections we already have.
Bringing me to the next point, the round. Last week we discussed it a little bit, and you had in mind maybe raising a small angel round. We spoke about the setup, what you're looking for in a lead, etc. Any updates? Where are you standing? How have you made up your mind?
So right now we are raising money from angels, strategic angels that can help us develop.
Yeah.
And we are also speaking at the same time or tiny bit after already immediately with VCs to raise the seed round.
And the strategic angel round, how much do you want to raise from them?
It depends on, we don't really have a specific number target we need to reach. It doesn't need to be 1 million exactly, or a bit less or a bit more. It's more about the collaboration and the strategic, because we already very fast want to reach the seed. So
Right.
It's less important the actual amount. We are thinking in between $500,000 and $1 million maximum. But it's a large scale over there, and also can be lower and faster if we want to reach the seed.
And what will you have achieved by then for the seed? So
our plan is after that to lock in at least one design partner, finish the POC, hopefully 2 or 3. That's our goal, and then continue.
Cool. Okay. Cool. Understood. Interesting. Yeah.
I've just quickly sent one of our partners is organizing the Bits and Pretzels in Munich. Not sure you know the conference. It's like 6,000 people. And as part of the Bits and Pretzels, he also organized the CIO Summit. I've just sent a link here where you can see who's participating there, and he's quite good connected to those guys, just to make you aware of that.
Okay. I haven't heard about it. What is the CIO Summit?
It's like Bits and Pretzels is a tech conference in Munich with, I think, 7,000 participants. And what Felix, one of our partners, he's in the founding team of Bits and Pretzels, what he organizes is different verticals. He has a vertical for limited partners, LPs, and then he has also created a vertical for chief information officers, 500 top guys that he invites and makes in the format of the Bits and Pretzels vertical for different topics, roundtables, connections between the different CIOs, and I thought that might be interesting as a touch point to get in contact the tech guys of the bigger companies. It's a little bit high level, but they obviously know who are the right people to talk to them in the organization.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
You can have a look at the people. That's why I just have put it in for information.
Amazing. Thank you. Look at it now.
And obviously, Tony, as I said, like piling up more names in the background. I'm still waiting for the double opt-in of a couple. I mentioned a few names already last week, like data center providers also, because we discussed that angle. Could be interesting to talk to, but then also, of course, into direct customers. As I said, mainly European based. But you mentioned that this is also fun and interesting for you initially. So definitely happy to go that alley with you. Cool. All right. I think I'm pretty much through with most of my points that I wanted to double click on. Jan, anything more from you? Otherwise, Tony, also anything from your side?
Yeah, I would leave the time for Tony for me. I've asked my questions, so if you have questions to ask or things that you want to learn or understand, feel free now or later, or whenever. You know.
For sure. Actually, I wanted to know two things. One is what's your process in terms of investment? What's your next steps? And in terms of what are you looking for? And then the last one is, what do you think is the first few clients or introduction that you think you can introduce us?
Mm-hmm. So I started with the clients. With the clients, we would first take it to our partner meeting, because whenever there's a need for contacts, we speak like this. We have 7 partners, which is rather unusual for a small fund, but that's because we have co-founded it and we are investing a lot of our own money there. That's why we can afford a little bit more partners with a strong network. And normally what we ask for is like a specification, like a list to whom do you want to talk to. So Felix is our minister for foreign affairs, we would say in German, and he knows everybody out there. He's in the Baden-Badener Unternehmertage. It's a very close network of all the DAX companies. We have close connections to the BEF, and he's organizing the Bits and Pretzels, which obviously also attracted Obama and Kevin Spacey and a lot of other big shots. But we would need to filter out what is exactly the right person to talk to, because it doesn't make any sense to, oh yeah, I know the CEO of Volkswagen, I know the CEO of BMW, yeah, it's nice, or of Allianz, but we need to know which are the right names to talk to, and then try to circle around and then say, okay, maybe you can go through the CEO that makes then an introduction, but we first have to understand the company, exactly the profile and what we're selling, and then we are starting to make the intros and connect them. If not, it's just in that high level intros, it doesn't make sense if you have a concrete use case and you can explain it. That's how we typically do it. That's why I do not want to shoot. I do not want to shoot names at you. All the big companies in Germany we have contacts to, and in Europe, I think not all of them, but a lot of them. But we need to understand how exactly we position your product and who's the right person to talk to, and then find out where we have a profound contact. And process-wise, Julian, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, process-wise, Jan covered half of it, meaning we bring it into the team, discuss it among the partners again, see what connections we have also, obviously, to first of all connect to you, but also to validate a little bit in the background. We do our homework.
I think process
And
was Julian. I think process was meant in terms of investment process.
yeah, right.
Okay,
and then get back with additional questions that come up that are important for us to clarify. But typically it's pretty straightforward and lean. So we'll hear back. I don't know. What's today? First day. We will need until Monday because this is the next IC where we meet up again. And in Monday afternoon latest, you hear back.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, guys,
Nice.
that sounds amazing. So
very
we'll
good.
be in touch with you very soon.
Yes,
Any
thank you
other
for your
question you
time.
have, any other information, if you want to speak, whatever you need, you have my number.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
I do. Cool. Tony, if there's anything else from you, obviously let us know, right? I'm also available 24/7, especially for you as Ken. Don't be a stranger.
I will not. I can tell you, Jan, that once I met Julian, we had such electric connection. I was like, wow, this is an amazing guy. And I can
Yeah,
tell you, even through Zoom, Jan, I can feel the same connection. The second you open with your hat, I'm like, Dan, I think it's all about connect with the right people and what you choose the right people you want to work with. And it's a gut kind of feeling. And
I agree. That's also how I work. And a very good reason to come back to Tel Aviv again. It's a few years, like last time 3 years ago or 4 years ago. So a good reason to come back and meet a few friends. Yeah.
best reasons. Okay, guys,
Cool.
sounds amazing. So tell me when
Then
you're here and let's be in touch.
thanks a lot.
Perfect.
Bye bye.
Toda rabba rabba, Tony.
Bye.